Okay, and this time I remembered to unmute my audio and your audio.
Alright, go ahead.
Yay!
So, we're already, there's a lot more progress from the last one. There's no fancy intro or anything. But, so, anyways, this week we are talking about Kindergarten and or Kindergarten 2. I personally played Kindergarten 2, because Kindergarten 1 is basically the prequel to that. Okay, and this time I remembered to unmute my audio and your.
I played both.
I did not mute, however, the damn stream.
At least you noticed it immediately and not 30 minutes later.
Oh, well, I mean, it's just everybody's going to hear me repeat myself, like, accidentally. But anyways, so yeah, Kindergarten and Kindergarten 2 are both 2D adventure games where you basically solve puzzles. And
So many puzzles.
and watch people get brutally murdered.
Mainly you.
Mostly you, but I mean,
A lot by the janitor as well.
oh yeah, you got to stay away from that fucking janitor. I mean, I guess this is a good place to open it. I mean, something that I really liked about the game was the writing. The writing was really good. I mean, the fact that the janitor basically, who played 2? Did you both play 2, or did you play 1?
We both played 2. I've played both 1 and 2.
Got it. So, like, for instance, when you're murdering the Bob, the other janitor, and the hall monitor starts giving him lip, and he's like, well, if I cripple you, I'll get a key. And he's just telling this to the kid as he's beating him to death with his mop. And then later in the bathroom, when the fat teacher walks out, and she says, nope. He just goes back into the stall.
Luckily, Kindergarten 1 had like similar, very close handwriting as well, because like in 1, where Monty, the kid in a wheelchair, before he actually got crippled, the reason why he got crippled is because in the cafeteria at the old school, the janitor had a stand set up selling biscuit bowls, but he misspelled the word biscuit. Monty is the only kid at that school that can read. So when he informs you of how the janitor misspelled the word, you can actually go to the janitor, and this is to get the canon ending as well. You go to the janitor, inform him that you misspelled it. He goes and asks, who told you that? You tell him Monty, and he literally goes to Monty and literally says, hey, you went and said that I can't spell for shit, huh? It's like, what? No, I didn't. Who told you that? Don't lie to me, Poindexter. How about I show you how to spell with my mop? That doesn't even make sense. Who cares? As he proceeds to beat the shit out of Monty with a mop.
See, I told you, Elvira, you'd love that game.
Listen, man, this janitor, I fucking love him.
So, I mean, what about you, Elvira? Do you have a story from the game you'd like to share?
Not particularly. I guess I had Raven screen share him running through it, since I am way too fucking stupid for games like this. I would have been stuck for fucking weeks just trying to figure out how to do a simple goddamn thing.
Shift tab and guides are your friend.
Yeah, but I don't like to resort to that on the first thing, so instead I just had my husband play it for me.
There you go.
She still helped me out quite a bit with some of the things, since there were moments where I kept forgetting what I needed to do, especially for missions like the flowers for for Daniel or whatever the fuck.
It's one of those first 3 that you have to do.
Yeah. In fact, actually, Ophi was the one who told me the combo for the flowers at the end, since she already pieced together the combination with the classroom and stuff like that.
Yeah, Yep, go ahead.
Between the two of us idiots, we make one smart person.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say that is a failing, and it's not even really so much a failing of that game, but anything in the adventure and point-and-click adventure genre where you have puzzle items, they get to be a little obtuse.
Yeah, definitely.
And very narrow. So, I mean, that is definitely a failing of not so much the game, but the genre. But I mean, overall, the writing is like fantastic, and it actually makes me really sad to think that this small, insignificant game has better writing than most of the games out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not hard, guys. They did it, and their game is 2D with pixels.
A lot of green 2D pixels or red 2D pixels.
Oh yeah,
Mainly red.
mostly red, and they're mostly coming from you or Nugget.
Yeah. Cold nuggets are bad nuggets.
Poor Nugget. So, yeah, I mean, I personally would like to see the game a third one. Just to see what would happen. I mean, I know that there's not really. It's just going to be more of the same, which is a shame. But
yeah, I would like to see more from the company. Probably not another kindergarten game, but something similar. Maybe in a different genre. I just want to see more writing.
Fifth
from
grade.
them, if anything.
It's grand. It's
college
all
years.
first shooter.
High school.
Now you have to smuggle alcohol for Cindy.
Yeah, you have to do. Well, it's basically all of the characters that they already have, but like, what, 10, 12 years later? Maybe a few extra new characters?
Hey, as long as there's more ways to kill Cindy, now I'm fine with that. Fuck that hoe.
Yeah, she is kind of a bitch. That and Ozzy.
Oh yeah, fucking Ozzy the germaphobe.
Yeah, and and this is probably one of the things about the game that I don't like is that it is a game where you have to fail in order to understand what you need to do next. So, like, for instance, the whole battery thing for doing his quest line, killing him. I mean, you don't really find that out until after it's too late for you to get the battery.
Actually, you can. If you talk to Ozzy first and ask about the instructor, and he goes and mentions about the battery.
In the school
Like, I get what you mean. Yeah, at the start.
I must have missed
Because
that
after
one.
because after you talk to like a Teddy, and he mentions about trying to, he ends up saying go and talk to Ozzy, see if you can figure something out. The game itself does pretty okay when it comes to trying to inform you about certain stuff, but there are definitely still situations where you wouldn't know this unless you
already
had
went
to go through
forward
again.
and you have to go back.
Yeah.
And I mean, I do like the mechanic where it's easy to go back to the previous part of the day. That you don't have to restart like from like part one.
Yeah, because in Kindergarten 1, you didn't have that. If you fucked up, you had to go through the entire day again.
So, I mean, that is something that I definitely did like about 2, is that if I fucked up, I'm like, oh shit, I need to get that battery, I can go back and get the battery.
Yeah. Also makes for getting like some of the collectible stuff a lot easier, like especially with like the Monster Mon cards.
Yeah.
I can't remember which mission it was, but even though this doesn't seem like it's picking me up that well. Even though you knew exactly where, like, so many things were, knew exactly what to do, we still did it in the wrong order and didn't know about it until at the very end, like, oh, well, shit.
Yeah. Or, like,
it's like, even when you have all the pieces, you can still fail.
For instance, with when you're trying to off Ozzy, I ran into the problem where I apparently did something in the wrong order, and the lights came back on at the worst possible time. I was caught in the hall and I got shot.
Yeah.
So I mean, the restarting is definitely a nice touch, where you don't have to you don't have to start from square one all the time.
Yeah. What would you guys say is the most ridiculous stuff you've seen from Kindergarten?
I'd probably have to say the whole bioengineering thing.
Fair enough.
I mean, it's a little like, why a kindergarten?
Yeah.
Or a Penny being a robot.
Yeah. Something weird. For me, I have to say fucking bugs with when you're doing dodgeball with Nugget.
Yeah.
Even though it's like it's not hard to avoid, if you just misclick once, you just get your head literally taken off by this buff bastard.
And that's what I like about the game is just how, and it ties back into the whole writing thing. I mean, the characters are very good.
Yeah.
I mean, they all have their, and if they don't have, it's not like it's a game with a lot of dialogue either. So, I mean, it just makes me sad about, all these AAA games and even some of the AA and single A games that are just, where the fuck are the writers?
Fair, but you say there's a lot of dialogue, but as someone who had to voice act all those fucking characters for FUBAR, I say there's a lot. My vote is dead.
Okay, so let me put it this way. Let's try this. Would you rather do the voicing for the characters for that or Anthem? It's a BioWare game. I don't even know. So you're about to get like, is there even dialogue in an Anthem?
There's like little minimal talk in it, mainly from your robot. Not robot. You're like informer guy. That's really it.
Right, but
I mean, then it's just more things like, "Hey, go and do this thing."
Plus, I mean, that is all voiced, so I guess that really doesn't count. But my point is,
I get your point.
My point is that there's not 6 volumes of dialogue that happen in that game. I mean, I'll use a better example. Destiny 2, for example. There's a lot of dialogue in that game. And I'm just talking about the base game. I'm not talking about any expansions, just the base game. There's a lot of dialogue. But I mean, I don't recall the characters being, as interesting as, the characters that are in kindergarten. Or having, enough of a personality where I'm like, oh, wow, hey, we're going to help Nugget out. Nugget's our friend. We want to help Nugget. We want to see the fat teacher chase around, what's his name, Jerome, and stick a ruler in his head. Or the damn janitor that you want to stay away from.
Well, you could be his accomplice.
Well, yeah, you could be his accomplice, but I mean, that's still a risky business.
Yeah, true.
He still beats your face in with the janitor's mop.
Yeah. I just love how, I think that actually brings up one of my favorite dialogue bits is when you do that mission for him, the Tale of Two Janitors. At the start, when he mentions about the war, you can ask him about the war, and then he just kind of dismisses it. But later on, when he goes and says, you remind me of me when I was younger. One of the options is before the war, and he goes and says, "Before the war? What are you talking about? Stop talking nonsense."
Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. It has good writing, really good writing. What the fuck, Bethesda? Really?
It knew how to write interesting characters and also have some comedy intertwined with those characters without it being too ham-fisted.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, you knew exactly what each character's about. It's not like they hit you with a brick in order to, sell the character.
Yeah. One thing they also do well is making sure to keep things fresh from Kindergarten 1, because there was still a good amount of stuff from Kindergarten 2 that I recognized from 1, but they managed to change it up just enough so that it felt more fresh. When you're doing the Breaking Sad mission to help Applegate, aka as the janitor likes to call her, Miss Jiggle Tits, where you have to help her get the drugs. And it's literally a case of one of the ways to piss off at the start was getting Cindy to go in a fight with her. That's exactly how you go and get in trouble for one of the missions involving Wicked Applegate in 1. So the fact that she goes and does the same thing, but she comes in saying, "No, fuck you, I'm not dealing with your shit." It's that felt refreshing.
I mean, well, I didn't play 1. I mean, I have seen 1, and it's good that the sequel didn't do what sequels tend to do, which is just change complete everything and not understand the tone or the writing of the first one. And I think a good example of that would be Mass Effect 2 and Mass Effect 1.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely does have a massive change from what it was before then.
Yeah, and I mean, sometimes that's fine, but usually it isn't. I mean, even though I liked Mass Effect 2, I mean, saying that it's just a different beast than 1.
Yeah.
And not in a way that I think I'd like.
Yeah, like another way you kill spoilers is like with the Bioshock games, with how you have Bioshock, or like Bioshock 1 and 2, and then you have Bioshock Infinite.
Yeah.
In the end, it's like it's not really a Bioshock game in the end. It's its own kind of thing now.
Yeah. So I mean, it's good that it's a shame that it's the indie developer that's doing this.
Yeah.
They know how to make a fucking game.
I feel like that's just a big trend though with like a lot of the indie games though. It's like because a lot of AAA games and stuff, they more so end up just looking at like what was popular with certain things and stuff and try and take advantage of that. You know, a lot of indie developers, they end up just thinking like, you know what, this would be a fun idea. Let's try and make this a reality kind of thing. But because of that, a lot of people agree with it.
The thing is that it didn't used to be that way, and it's only been in the last, I want to say, 70 years that it's really gotten this bad.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you used to have AAA games, like Mass Effect 1 was a AAA game. And it did not do a lot of the things that the other games, you know, that they continue to produce did. And, I mean, it definitely wasn't a niche game. They designed it to be a AAA game.
Yeah. Biggest issue I think now is just too many companies are trying to play the safe bet, not like risking like going with new ideas or anything like that could end up winning, making a brand new series for them and stuff like that. Well, so we're just getting the same shit constantly.
The thing is that I don't know if it actually makes any sense for them to really do that. I mean, sure, playing it safe, you know, might net them. They might be putting in just as much money as they're getting back, or just marginal gains. And the thing is that marginal gains don't really help your company.
Yeah, because like a lot, especially with a lot of series-based AAA games, a lot of things they just do is like, as you mentioned before, is just try and change things within that series. But the biggest issue is the fact of when you already have a series established, people don't want that series to be changing into something else. They want either something that's brand new, have that be the thing that's changed, or keep the series to the same thing, but just add in more content to it.
Yeah.
And that's what they're not kind of getting at.
And not only that, but I mean, I think that they're letting a lot of these series just go on too long. And I mean, as they go on, because I mean, I can tell you this: if there was a Kindergarten 8, I would not care about it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I mean, in a lot of games, and this you can kind of see with the Borderlands series. I mean, I didn't play Borderlands 3, and I have no intention to, but would you say that Borderlands 3 is as good as 2?
It's definitely... Here's the issue with that, though. The reason why Borderlands 2 is so good is because of the DLC kind of stuff that came with it. Base game, it's okay, if I'm being honest. There's a lot of issues with Borderlands 2. Base game for free, I say it's actually better than 2. The biggest thing is just all the DLCs and all the characters and stuff like that that's been added over the years. That's what makes Borderlands 2 so good, in a sense.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see where Borderlands 3 lays once they've hit the same apex of DLC and what they also plan on doing.
Because I mean, the way I understood it, that the story was pretty weak for 3.
The story's been weak for all the games. That's the biggest issue.
Yeah, weaker.
It's a mix.
Let's be honest. The stories for all 3 of them are kind of garbage. What sells 2 more than anything else was the villain. The villains in 3, they're okay. They're serviceable, but they're not the same. They couldn't strike lightning in a bottle twice.
Yeah, and to be able to, because like Hellfire was saying, Handsome Jack, good writing, good voice acting, good character design. Tyreen and Troy, they also have similar things, but Jack just hit hard with a lot of people. You can't go and just make another like Jack villain without it running into the issue of, okay, this is going on for too long. That's why a lot of like people who played the Borderlands games for a long time will say that they're happy that Jack isn't a reoccurring villain, even though they still love Jack as a villain.
Oh, because they could ruin him.
Yeah, literally.
I mean, this also could kind of tie into also some movies where, like, for example, the Batman series, where I think that they kill off, some of their villains too quickly, and that was what was nice about the Nolan series was that they didn't. Like,
Yeah.
because it allows you to reuse a character. Like, didn't they use the Scarecrow in all three films?
I believe so. I haven't actually
Yeah, they
watched
did.
a lot of the
They did
movies.
because they did. He
Huh.
was used as part of the intro sequence of Dark Knight, and he was the judge in Dark Knight Rises.
Okay.
So I mean, and that's the thing. I mean, it's fine if these people want to make sequels, but if you're going to make sequels, actually plan to make sequels.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because I mean, and it's the same thing with the two games here. Because they didn't reuse the principal from the first one because he's dead, and if they made a third one, I'm presuming that they wouldn't have Penny's mom, quote unquote, be the part of the next one.
Yeah, definitely. And like kind of going back to like the whole Borderlands thing, one of the things also like I would say helps with the difference is the fact of gameplay elements because 3 definitely has a lot more gameplay like better in gameplay than 2. So that's one of the things that's like currently helping it contend. So it'd be kind of like say if with kind of Kindergarten 3, if they went and tried to make a third one, they would also have to factor in gameplay elements because they technically did that with 1 and 2 with the whole being able to just go back to certain areas instead of restarting the entire day.
Yeah, but I mean that's the same for like most sequels. Is that you do have to have something that makes it different enough, unless if you're doing an expansion.
Yeah. Just bringing up one of the other comparisons with the Bioshock series. I guess Borderlands 2 and 3 could be like Bioshock 1 and 2. Because Bioshock 2, the gameplay was so much like just the overall gameplay, not excluding the like constant escort mission bullshit. Just general gameplay and guns were so much better in 2. I guess that would be the same way in that, and same way as Kindergarten, where the second sequel, like the second main sequel, usually will improve upon the general like quality of life stuff. But then if there's a third one, that's usually when things start to go a little insane. They change things that they probably shouldn't be.
Yeah, because I mean, you can also use the Doom series because Doom 1, because 1 was fantastic, 2 was even better because they expanded upon it, and instead of doing the 3 different mission campaigns, 4 if you want to count the 4th one, they just added a weapon, added some new monsters. It was different enough to be its own game, and then they did 3, and then 3 was radically different and was a flashlight simulator. And despite me liking 3, I can say that it was not as good as 1 or 2. They changed it too much. But I mean, also at the same point, I mean, I guess it's fair to say that there was no way that they were going to do 1 or 2 again in that style. Because, I mean, the retro revolution really didn't happen when that was coming out.
Yeah.
Although I will say, I mean, how interesting would that be if they did like a Doom 2.5?
That would have been very interesting.
I would actually be really interested in that. If anybody from It Is watching, get on that. I mean, look, let's be
Make
real.
it happen.
Let's be real. Nobody from It Is watching, and that is never going to happen, but it's an interesting idea. I mean, it's something that you could probably do, like, because I mean, you don't really even have to do that much. You would just do basically and I guess they kind of did do that with the Bethesda when they re-released Doom. They had a map pack for that. For like Doom 2. Like additional levels and stuff.
Yeah.
I haven't got around to playing the newest Doom yet. It's on the list.
I don't know if it's console only, but I know that on the launcher, with their own special re-release of Doom 2, or not even real re-release. I'm not even sure what the fuck they'd call it, but I know that it has additional levels or a campaign or something like that. But yeah, I'd be interested in seeing a Doom 2.5. I'd spend $9 on that.
$9 well spent.
Well, yeah. And I mean, it's the same thing with this. I mean, if they wait 11 years and then they do like a 3D version of kindergarten, I don't know if it would be as well received.
I would probably say it wouldn't, because that's kind of like part of what makes kindergarten is the whole like the cute 2D ass
The retro
characters and all that kind
assets.
of, yeah.
Yeah, and I will say this: I might be interested in a VR thing that's kind of a joke.
It would be kind of funny to seeing this jiggly tits just chasing after Nuggets, trying to steal his hair or something.
I want to see a VR spin-off of that game where you get to play as that
The janitor.
as the janitor or the teacher, and just where you just have a stick or a mop and you're just beating the shit out of Nugget.
Oh, not Nugget. What's wrong with Nugget? What happened
Nugget's
to Cindy? Beat the shit out of Cindy.
You can have a customizable kid.
There you go.
Anyway, I got that in 2 with all the outfits you have. Get to
that's
work.
true. But yeah, I'd like to see a third game of it. I think the writing is good enough that they could definitely do that. I mean, I would be a little concerned that they go the whole Five Nights at Freddy's route, where, and I don't think that they will, because I think everybody kind of sees that now as a bad idea, at least from a sales point of view, because you just kill your base and just completely fatigue them, so you can never make anything again.
Oh, okay. I got a little confused what you meant with the
whole
Five Nights at Freddy.
Well, yeah, because I mean, what are they up to now? The park?
Are they still making more of those?
Yeah. I don't know how.
Fucking Christ.
Yeah, and the thing is that nobody talks about it. Nobody really cares except for the diehard fans. And I mean, that's all well and good. But at the same time, if you're trying to make a buck, you need to be able to reach other markets.
I feel like
right there, that's a perfect example of what I was talking about with the whole sequel thing. They did not make enough difference between 1 and 2 and 1 and whatever the fuck they're at now to really be a sequel.
I feel like if more games want to be able to like expand upon like the whole sequel and stuff like that, they should probably go down like say the Resident Evil route, where like instead of constantly just making like a Resident Evil 10 and stuff like that,
Yeah,
go
like
back
like Final Fantasy as well. There's another good example of how to do a good sequel, where it doesn't necessitate or the previous installment or even the next installment. I mean, you can if you want. Like, I believe Tactics and 12 occupy the same universe.
Maybe I'm not a big Final Fantasy person since I never played, so I'm stumped on that. Literally, closest I could do is just Resident Evil, and that's only because I know shit about the third one. That's it.
Well, yeah, but I mean, Resident Evil is another good example where they have a simple concept, or they have a good premise, and then they just use different instances where that premise happens.
Yeah, because I know like the point I was saying about was like how they're doing the whole remake stuff. With like 3, they still have like the story from the original 3, but they added other stuff like smaller scenes and stuff like that to help bring life to like the characters and shit like that.
But I mean, also that's what they did in 2, and it did fantastic. So
yeah, exactly. It's like they have that train going of like of success with what they're doing with the game.
I mean, I know this isn't really related to, the kindergarten series, but I really do wonder if they're going to go through the rest of them. Like, I mean, are they going to do 4 and 5?
Very interesting. I would love to see just a remake of what was it, 6, and I want to see how they would improve on that fucking story. I just want to see
that thing is like, completely unsalvageable. There is nothing you can do.
I want to see them try and like just improve upon something that will just make it so that like bloody train scene, you just have better blood or something before you get run over by the same annoying train.
That I can see them fixing the story of 6 is to do what they originally planned to do and do it as episodic content.
Yeah.
That's the only way to fix it, is to separate it out to be 3 separate full games. Or 1 game, and it's a tough spot with 6 because they kind of back themselves into a corner with the whole episodic content thing.
also didn't help with the whole fucking. In the end, the story was basically just a really shit rom-com in the end.
Well, I mean, the thing is that if they made it, either way you slice it, doing the episodic content was a bad idea. They should make it into 3 separate games. The problem there is that you're going to have Resident Evil 6 Part 1, Resident Evil 6 Part 2, Resident Evil 6 Part 3. Each one's going to sell for $40 to $50, and everybody's going to be like, well, fuck you. You're just trying to grab my money.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I'm saying, I mean, even if they did a combined game and they charged $120, which would be that the $40 separation for each of those installments, you're still going to get people to be pretty pissed off about that. I don't think 6 is salvageable. The only way 6 is salvageable is if you did it into 3 separate full games. And nobody's going to like that.
Yeah.
And I mean, I would be interested in seeing a Resident Evil 4 HD edition or remake or whatever you want to call it. I'd even be interested in seeing Resident Evil 5 just to see if they decide to correct the criticisms of it before, if you know what I mean.
Fair enough.
It no longer takes part in Africa. I mean, that would be interesting to see. I don't think they would do that, though. But I would like to see the remake. I would like to see remakes of older games into modern definition. I'd love to see a remake of Doom 1 and Doom 2 using the new Doom engine.
That'd be cool, yeah.
That would be pretty nice.
I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect, but I mean, it would be interesting to see, to say the least.
Yeah.
I mean, they're already trying. I mean, the downside to that is that, I mean, where does it stop?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to constantly have where all of the games that I can buy this year are all games that I already own. It's just that they have a nice shiny coat of paint.
Yeah. It's like, we'd love to see so many games get a remake, re-release, redefined, reloaded, fucking whatever. But we would still need some people to actually make some new goddamn shit once in a while instead of continuing the exact same old fucking stories or ones that literally already exist. You just, like, make the print a little finer this time around.
Yeah. I mean, look, there are some games that I would love to see get the treatment. Like, I'd love to see the pretty much 1 through 6 of Final Fantasy get a remake like they're doing with 7. I don't think that's ever going to happen, but it would be kind of nice. I mean, and the thing is that I don't know. This is the thing that kind of does irritate me about the Final Fantasy VII remake. They're trying to recreate the graphics. They don't really need to do that because, I mean, yeah, it's great that the graphics for that were, at the time fantastic. But they also kind of weren't. They can probably just get away with doing the stuff that they did for that other spin-off game, World of Final Fantasy. They could go with the graphics like that, bright and colorful, and everybody would still love it. It would be way less expensive. It would be way smaller, so they'd be able to actually do it instead of releasing it in 3 different parts. They'd be able to release it in 1.
Yeah, would make more sense, but a lot of these fucking developers don't seem to think in terms of common sense anymore.
Well, you say that, but I mean, definitely at the end of 2019, I think that that's starting to kind of change. Because, I mean, you're seeing it with a lot of them. They're starting to change their business models because they're like, oh shit, people are really pissed off at us. And with the rise of this whole retro revolution, I mean, I think we might see some serious waves being made.
I would love to believe it, but this is the same industry that's done some of the most egregious fucking practices I've seen fucking ever.
Well, I mean,
that's coming from the fucking prostitute. There was better business practices in fucking that than in video games. It's pretty absurd.
Well, I don't know if you guys have heard this or not, but they're cracking down on FIFA.
I have heard about that.
With the loot cards.
Yeah.
Oh, those.
They're
those. They're they're getting pretty slapped for that, EA.
About bloody time.
To the point that that feature may not make an appearance. We might be on the threshold of seeing the end of loot boxes.
I'll be more than down for that.
Well, I think everybody would, and I mean, with the rise of the whole retro revolution, where you're seeing all of these pixelated games, I mean, there's a lot of them too. I mean, not just this one with the Kindergarten series, but you also have that. What's that sword fighting one that just came out?
Shit.
You know what? But you know which one I'm talking about.
I don't.
Raven doesn't.
I think I know, but I can't remember what it's called.
I can't
But
either.
the saying like pixelated sword fighting game doesn't exactly help because there's a couple that go through my head.
It's I want to say it's similar to Hotline Miami. Shit, what's its name?
Fuck! I just saw his name. I know what it is.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. You know what?
Yeah.
Dragon's watching this thing. He'll know what it is because he really liked it. But there's also that the Door Kickers 2 game. I mean, that I don't know how well that's sold, but I mean that's fantastic. We definitely should probably play that sometime. I mean, you had the Escapist 2, you have RimWorld, which just had an expansion. You had you have the Prison Sim game that just had an expansion not that long ago, and I mean these games do make serious bank.
Yeah, it's like as much as I would love to see loot boxes fucking crash and burn, I'm still also scared at what's going to take its place next.
Games as a service.
Yeah!
But I mean, the thing is that games as a service, I don't think that's going to really go anywhere. That dog ain't going to bite.
You know they're going to try for at least 5 years or so, and then they'll find the next thing that everyone wants to copy.
100% disagree. Because, I mean, take a look at Anthem, take a look at Fallout 76. Those were colossal failures. Like, big enough of a failure that I would be shocked if people were not fired.
Well, I can't disagree with that, but, like, back when everyone was making brown, gritty, first-person military shooters, or the fucking 5 years of zombie games, or that whole trend of everything has to be a 4-person cooperative shooter, also zombies with it. It's like...
I mean, I agree to an extent, but I mean, also game development takes roughly about 3 years, so it's not like... I don't think a lot of that was planned.
Quick question.
Yes, sir.
Is that sword game you talking about Nidhogg?
No. God damn it, I'm gonna have to look it up.
Bloodroots? Or
No.
am I thinking of something else?
You're thinking of something else. Steam.
God damn it.
I know Dragon really likes it.
Dragon, help us.
Dragon, you're watching, you can help.
Do the thing, Dragon.
Because I'm having a trouble even trying to figure out what the hell I put in here. I guess 2D. Maybe I should just go to tags, go to TD or retro. Is there even a retro? There is a retro. Well, that's not what I meant by retro. But I mean, like Sonic Mania, there's one. Dusk, Iron Fury. They did the Mega Man Zero re-release not that long ago.
Yeah?
I want indie. Cuphead did really well.
Oh, Cuphead was amazing.
So waiting for that DLC to come out.
Would be nice. But considering what they have to do to make new shit for that, I wouldn't expect it for a while.
Yeah, which
This is really going to bother me that I can't figure out what this is called. Oh, man, this is going to take a minute. I probably should move on off of this topic. All right.
But swords.
Shit. Somebody fill the blank space while I look for this damn thing.
Yeah, we haven't talked about like gripes with the face. So
I
Hun,
did.
fair enough. I'm talking about for like say All Fire and stuff. All Fire. What was the stuff that you don't like about Kindergarten 2?
Two things. One minor, one kind of expected from me.
Aha! I found it.
Oh,
Katana Zero.
Oh fuck yeah, that's it.
Overwhelmingly positive.
I don't think I have it.
I
If do
don't have it.
Let's see.
But that's because I have way too many to begin with. So, anyways, Katana Zero, that was the game. Yeah, show that. You know, I really want to know how to do that too on Steam, because I do not care for visual novels at all. They're not games. Also, Dead Cells, there's another one. That's a retro.
Oh, yeah.
That's a retro title made in that style. It also did fantastically, and I mean, these AAA companies are going to turn around and they're going to be like, dude, they're making a lot of money.
I mean, then Microsoft already tried to gain favors with all indie companies in the first place with the whole them supposedly helping out indie companies and shit like that.
Yeah, but I mean, so did EA. And they only got like maybe 3 or 4 titles out of it.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of which, have you two played that one, the Prison Escape one?
I haven't. I've seen a few things of it.
Yeah, you two should play that. I think you two would enjoy that.
Which one's that?
Escapist, isn't it?
No, Escapist is the 2D one. I'm talking about the other one.
There's another one?
This one's 2-player. It's by EA. I think it's on Origin only. I did a Let's Play with Galm on it.
Oh, that!
Yeah, that one.
Fuck, who? I know what it's called. I'm trying to remember what else that guy made.
Yeah, anyways, you two should play it.
So I'll look it up later.
Also, what was the thing that you didn't like about Kindergarten 2?
Alright. And it's the first thing, the minor gripe, that fucking music on loop. I'm gonna be hearing that in my fucking sleep. Like, I know it's supposed to be like light, kitty, bouncy music that kind of juxtaposes the murdering and death and hitting people with a mop, but
And the yay at the beginning, the yay when you click press start.
yeah, why couldn't there have been at least 2 or 3 tracks on loop? Why one? That just bothers me. And I guess the other one, I've never been a big fan of point and click type games.
Yeah,
It's a gameplay loop I don't quite enjoy.
it's very antiquated.
Yeah, very antiquated, very, very rigid, just like literally having to fail in order to succeed. It's just one of those. That feels like such a fucking waste of time.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I kind of do wish that they had a little bit more organic ways of solving the problems.
Yeah, or like if they're going to go with that formula, I know it would take a lot longer to do and a lot more effort, a lot more writing, but have ways to recover if you fuck up. Just have like plan B and plan C. Just ways to pick up from your fuck up so you don't have to go down this very specific path where you got to insert the straw through the beaver's ass or fucking something. One of those weird ass puzzles.
Talk to Larry, talk to Ozzy, talk to Monty to get the battery. And once you know what you're doing, you can kind of not exactly sequence break, but I mean it is a very rigid gameplay loop.
Yeah.
It's very railroady.
Extremely.
What about you, Raven?
I guess for me, well, I have to say first off, fuck Cindy. She's a bitch. But that's how she's supposed to be. But fuck her.
Oh, he's sticking gum in girls' hair.
Yeah, I guess there's some of the stuff that I don't really like. Are still minor things where it's like some of the missions did feel kind of off with some of this stuff as well, in a sense.
You mean like arbitrary?
Yeah, like I don't know. It just kind of felt weird doing certain missions. Like some of them just didn't feel as satisfying as others. Like the janitor one, that felt good.
Nope.
Yeah,
Let's say
That
the janitor one was the best fucking mission in the whole game.
yeah. Meanwhile, like the Flowers for Diana, that one just didn't feel anywhere near as good. Mainly just due to how like what's the word irritating it was just to try and like get all the stuff, especially if you didn't know what the hell you're doing in the first place.
It was
like
that one was definitely very adventure game.
Yeah, and like I don't mind adventure games in the first place, but it's like at certain points, especially in a game where the whole idea is this whole groundhog day of trial and error, it gets to the point where the trial and error gets more and more irritating, even for someone who doesn't mind trial and error in the first place.
Also, for example, for that one, I mean, the solution is literally in front of your face. You just have to put them in order of the ones that you have because it's already in order on your screen.
Yeah.
It was just kind of like way too out of the box.
Yeah, because a lot of times also and some missions felt a little too handholdy, like in a sense of it didn't feel as much of a puzzle game, but more of a, hey, I tell you to do this thing, go and do it.
Yeah.
If it just felt like the basic it
was too railroady.
What's the word? Railroady, yeah. I'm trying to think of the word for like when you have that same situation like an FPS in game and shit like that.
On rails.
No.
That would literally be railroady.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. It was like a different. It was like the different term, but at the same
linear.
meaning. Not linear. At least with linear,
That's still railroady.
I don't know. I guess the best way to describe it is like they did like when they would go and call you an errand boy. That's essentially how it was for a lot of missions, even when you weren't trying to be as much of an errand boy for some of them. Like
I get
the
what
final
you mean.
mission.
I get what you mean.
Yeah,
you just feel like what you do doesn't matter because you're just doing what you're told. You have no real agency because you're not part of the decision-making process.
Yeah, especially when a lot of the stuff that happens is stuff that a lot of the other characters can do. It's just more of a case of like, especially with what's his face, Felix. Like his entire reasoning for not doing half of his stuff was just because he didn't want to get his hands dirty, even when it came to something like getting fucking vegan food from the lunch lady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which also you should stay far, far away from.
Yeah. Well, at least she likes your choice of either a study hall or death. If you pick death.
All right. So, I mean, if you had to give the game a grade, what would you give it? I'd give it a 4.
I would give it a 3
4 out of 5 is what I'd give it.
I would give it a 3 out of 5.
Hmm.
It did exceptionally well with the writing stuff, but at the same time, writing alone it will get you so far in the games. If the gameplay itself doesn't feel good, then there's no point to it.
Fair enough.
I'm gonna have to go 3 out of 5 as well.
Fair enough.
Still a good game. Still enjoyed my time with it. Will I ever play it again or look at it or think about it again? Probably not.
I don't. How about this? Instead of, would you recommend the game?
I would recommend it to everyone to at least try once. Even how they would also warn them very much like if they don't like trial and error, then don't bother, kind of thing.
I would recommend it because I think that the writing is good and that I'd like to see more games have good writing.
Yeah.
I'd say I would recommend it, yeah. Like, it personally wasn't my cup of tea, but I think overall I'd say it would be worthy.
So you're telling me that janitors beating kids to death and then threatening the other hall monitor is not your cup of tea?
There's so much janitor beating up another kid can get you.
Make a spin-off where it's a fucking beat 'em up between those two janitors. I will get that shit a 7 out of 5.
All right. So, how do you guys feel about doing Daggerfall Unity for the next one?
Depending on if I forget what the fuck that game is. Hold on.
Daggerfall would be Elder Scrolls 2. It is the has the large. I think it still holds that record for the largest play space of any video game by a wide margin.
Elder Scrolls 2?
Yeah, there's a. So basically, what Daggerfall Unity does is it takes the original Daggerfall, which is on the X engine, and then it converts it to be playable on the Unity engine. So it runs a lot better. And it also fixes, like, you can mod it and, like, fix shit. Which the game desperately needed back on launch. But yeah, I think that the actual play space is about the size of Europe.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. This is why fast travel exists. Because, you know, there's a fucking ocean and you can't really walk across. Well, you could try to walk across that, but I don't recommend it. There's a whole lot of nothing.
Is this a free game that we can download?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Alright, so I did find it. Good. Just making sure.
Yeah, if you just go to Daggerfall Unity, I think they have a downloadable there that just has like a prepackaged thing. I mean, the only thing is that you would probably want to go to the settings to enable a certain setting that's experimental, where it kind of condenses a dungeon. Mostly because if you don't do that, sometimes the dungeons can get a little screwy.
Fair enough.
Which was a problem in the original game. All right. Well, we'll see everybody at the end of the month for Daggerfall Unity then, since they're probably on the 4th. No, the 5th. The 5th.
The 8th?
The 5th. April 5th.
The 8th, gotcha.
God damn it.
Oh, okay. So, until next time, hope you all enjoyed and check out Kindergarten 2.
Have fun.
Murder some kids.